Right, welcome to part 2 of our Why Our Manifolds Are So Good. This part's to do with the primaries, which are these. Now, quite obvious, but these are the bits that go between the collector and the head flange of the manifold. The first thing you're probably wondering is, why are they fully assembled but not on the manifold? Why are they done like this?
So what we do is we make each individual pipe on the manifold themselves, and then we actually break them off in these pieces but not welded together, in order to weld them together basically, so that we can get all the way around each individual weld quite happily, easily on the bench. This ensures that you get the best weld you can, really.
So that's just a construction thing, really?
Yeah, essentially it's just an ease of construction.
Cool. And then obviously these then get welded back onto the collector and head flange, and we will talk about the head flange and how these fit in the next part of the video, in part 3. Now the basics of these are quite straightforward, really. They're made from 304 stainless steel. They're 3mm thick, and from what I understand we make them that thick so they're really strong and don't require bracketing, because brackets can cause other problems. Is that right?
Yeah, basically it's another thing that you have to add to your car. So by making them out of a thick material and welding them correctly like we do, it basically means that you don't have to have a bracket an extra bracket to hold your turbo in place. Because most of the manifolds we make are top mount, so the turbo sits quite a bit higher. It's often quite difficult to get a bracket that will actually work, not flex, and won't cause additional issues. So we make the manifold strong enough to support the turbo without the need for that, and this is how we do it.
And I think I've seen as well that sometimes when you bracket the turbo, the bracket doesn't allow it to expand as much and then cause cracking issues.
That's correct. Obviously when you're putting quite a lot of heat through these, which they are designed to take, so some of them are getting up to sort of 900 to 1000 degrees C, the material obviously expands, as everything does with heat. Everything expands, and with a bracket that's mounted to the turbo, it not having that heat running through it won't expand, so it won't expand with the rest of it. So you'll get one bit staying the same and another bit trying to move, if you see what I mean, and this can cause issues such as cracking, breakages, and just basically everything not doing what you want it to do.
Yeah, so the turbo effectively moves a little bit, but
yeah,
the bracket doesn't, so then the manifold or something breaks because it can't move.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's one of the reasons that they're made from this material rather than a thinner material and adding brackets to them. When we make them, we use a process called purging, gas purging?
Yeah, back purging.
Back purging, which is what we're going to talk about in this little clip in the workshop. Okay, so when Mike makes the manifolds, or someone makes the manifolds, they are purged in the pipe. What that means is that argon gas flows through this pipe, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
So the argon flows up through this pipe, and then you've got the cap on in with a hole in it, so the gas comes back out.
That's correct, yes.
Why does the gas come back out?
Well, basically you have to get the gas in there to start off with, and obviously the pipe is full of air essentially, like everything is around you. So what we need to do is replace that air with argon. So the pressurised line there sends argon through the inside of the pipe and pushes the air out.
Okay, and if we don't put argon inside the pipe, what happens? Will it not weld together, or will it weld together?
It will weld together, and quite a lot of people do weld their manifolds together without sending argon through the inside, but it really is best practice, because what basically happens is when you get penetration on these welds through the inside of the pipework, there's no shielding gas, so the weld will actually react with the atmosphere, with the oxygen in the atmosphere, and this can make it porous and basically not very strong. It's just essentially not really what you want on the inside of a manifold pipe. So
it's going to rust from the inside out, or?
It's almost is rusting actually when it's kind of that hot. It's just basically oxidizing. So when it's in there, it's kind of pre-rusted in the weld, which is sort of not really what you want, as you can imagine.
So is it affecting lifespan or performance?
Both really. So when I don't know, if you've seen something rust, you'll know that it expands very slightly. So you get like a layer of rust on the outside, and that essentially will happen on the inside of the weld, even when you're welding stainless steel. So you obviously don't want that on the inside of your manifold, because bits of it could break off and go through your turbo. It could be very expensive, and it reduces gas flow, so not really what you want.